Welcome into the lounge presented by DraftKings. We have the pleasure of sitting down with guard John Simpson today. And John, congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Yeah, got a new baby boy.
Yeah.
Right? And how old now?
How old is my baby?
Yeah.
Like maybe 3 days old. I don't even know.
We're counting hours. Are we counting days or we counting hours?
I'm trying to like get it all together. Like so much has gone on in the last like week. It's been crazy, but yeah, it definitely is a blessing to have him.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'll ask you the standard question of how much sleep are you getting these days?
Not much, but my wife has been helping out. She knows like when it's a tough day, like Wednesday practice, she's been locked in and helping me out, and I've been trying to help her out as much as I can. Right now, it's not really much I can do because she's breastfeeding. So yeah. Not much I can do but change his diaper, and that's all I've been trying to help her with.
How's that going?
It's been a challenge. It's been a challenge, but you know, I'm getting the hang of it.
All right.
And this is baby number one for you?
Yeah, baby number one.
All right, so tell us the story, okay? So what's your son's name?
John Lucas Simpson. Yeah.
All right.
That's great.
Yeah. Is this so? Is he a junior?
No, we changed his middle name.
Okay.
So he has a different middle name.
Gotcha.
I wanted him to, have his own little legacy.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna call him Lucas. So a lot of people don't, draw the similarities between us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when was John Lucas born? Take us through like the last, leading up to the game on Sunday, like the 48 hours leading up to that point.
All right. So we got there, I believe it was Friday around like 12. She had to go in early because she had some issues or whatever. And so we were in labor for about 24 hours. And Saturday, she gave birth to him around like 2:24. It was crazy. But that part was crazy. It's a little explicit. I'm sure a lot of people went through it, but
yeah,
for the people that hasn't, it's a blessing, but it's a crazy experience for sure.
Yeah, I've got a 1-year-old. So a year ago I was going through a similar situation.
Right,
so
yeah.
I know it's kind of a crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's nuts for sure. But it was fun. I said I had 2 game days back to back. That's how I put it. Yeah.
At that point, you'd missed the team plane, right? Yeah. And so I guess the plane took off right around that.
It was
exact time.
It was like 2:30.
Were you thinking like, all right, if we get this baby,
so Friday I walked in. All the doctors and nurses, they knew I played football, and they knew that like I was on like a time crunch. And so they were trying to get it done as like fast as possible. And I was like, I don't want to rush it, but like, can we hurry up?
That's the last thing you hey babe, can you come on and explain again? Right. That's not gonna go over well.
Yeah. But I mean, it ended up working out. She had him, like I said, 224. He came out healthy boy. They said he was a perfect baby, so with all his measurements and stuff like that. So that's all you can really ask for.
Yeah.
And so did you know, like when you went in on Friday, were you thinking, all right, I'm not going to be on the team plane tomorrow? Like, were you even thinking about that stuff? Like it's like an emotional kind of roller coaster. Like you probably don't even sleep on Friday night going into Saturday. You're just up that whole time. Like, where is the team plane and getting on that flight in your thought process at that point?
Because we got there Friday. I was like, okay, we gonna have the baby Friday. Like the baby's coming on Friday. I have no knowledge of like how labor goes. I had none. Now I know a lot. I had no idea how it was gonna go. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have this baby today, and it didn't happen. So, and then Saturday came. I was like, all right, like let's make this thing go fast. But I mean, everyone they stayed in contact with me, and they let me they told me what the options were and stuff like that. So it kind of made me a little more comfortable knowing that there was a possibility of me catching another flight to get to the game. So
you took Southwest to the game, right?
I was C-19. So, so it definitely, I was like nervous. I was like, these people are going to be so mad if I got to sit in the middle with them. It ended up working out. So.
Not as much leg room though as the team plane for sure.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's definitely different.
Now, did you think that at any point that there was a possibility that you might not be playing in the game on Sunday?
That did not cross my mind. Okay. I told my wife, and she knew. I was like, babe, like, once the baby's born, like I gotta go. And when he came, I spent like maybe 2 hours with him, and then I had to get on the Southwest flight, which was kind of, it sucked because I wanted to be there with my son and my wife. But you know, it all worked out, and I got back home and I got to see him and spend time with him. You know, so it worked out
with the Dubs and
exactly,
and the game ball, from what I understand, right?
Yeah, he got a game ball.
Tell us how special was that moment and how that all go down?
Oh, it was pretty cool. So after the game, Coach came to me and he was like, "What's your baby boy's name?" I told him I was like John Lucas. He was like, "John Lucas getting a game ball," and it was like phenomenal. He forgot to announce it right after the game, and no fault to Coach. He probably had a lot going on in his mind. Yeah. but we got on the plane and he was like, "Yeah, I forgot to let everybody know, but baby John is getting the game ball too." So it was perfect.
That's really cool.
So like. You probably got there, what, like 8 o'clock on Saturday night?
Yeah, it was around like 8 o'clock. Got out the Uber and got to the hotel.
Which is just so funny. Like, did anybody on the flight? Okay, I'm curious about this flight. So you get on this flight. I don't know if there's other. I'm sure there's Ravens fans. This flight coming out of Baltimore. Probably some people may be going to the game. Like
I seen a lot of Bengals fans. Not a lot of Ravens fans. We got to change that.
Yeah. So like, did anybody get wind or realize that you were going to be playing in that game that they were going to the next day?
I don't think so. Usually when I get on flights, a lot of people ask me questions, but that one was just like, I kind of had my headphones on in, like hoodie up, like trying to.
You probably fell asleep. You're like,
I was trying to
incognito mode.
Exactly. I was trying to like be like invisible as possible, but that was kind of hard to do. But not a lot of people asked me anything. A lot of people were like looking at me like, what's this guy doing here? Like, you know what I mean? But it was pretty cool.
And then when you get on the field, like, was it hard to like go to football mode? Like, was it difficult to basically like, you've just gone through this like kind of a whirlwind, 24, 48 hours, like your life has changed in a dramatic way. Yeah. And then you sort of have to flip the switch and just go, all right, now I'm a football player. Mm-hmm. I'm starting this offensive line. Like, how hard was it to make that transition?
It wasn't really it wasn't really a big switch. Like once I got to the team hotel, I kind of like flipped my mindset, and you know, I kind of like wanted to dedicate that game to my son. Try to play as best as I could. I definitely like had it on back of my mind. Like I got a kid now. Like, you know, he's here. He's watching. But like I said, once I got to the team hotel, I kind of like tried to change how my thought process was going and stuff like that, and focus more on ball. Definitely, you know, FaceTimed them and made sure everything was good while I was at the hotel, but it ended up working out.
Cool. That's cool. So, I mean, also obviously an awesome game. Mm-hmm. Just tell us about, you know, the emotions for the team and for the O-line, especially, you know, you had two starters missing in Ronnie and Tyler. Yeah. For the offensive line to have such a great day. I mean, Lamar wasn't sacked once. He was pressured at the lowest rate of his career. Yeah. You know, what was it like for you guys as a line to have that kind of performance?
It was amazing. We got like guys like Pat McCarr. He's played a lot in this league, and so is Sam. They both played a lot. So we kind of went into it, you know, with that mindset. Like, hey, we let's not skip a beat. Let's just keep, you know, playing our game. Let's play our game. Let's execute, and let's get this thing done. And you know, it worked out.
Yeah. For you, you know, we want to kind of let fans in on your story. You know, get into this position here where you're the starting left guard. It's, you know, it's been kind of a unique road, I think, to some extent. So you were in Las Vegas. You spent your first 3 years with the Raiders, and then you ended up here in Baltimore last year. Yeah. Late in the season, and this is my opportunity. I don't like to do this very often, but I'll give Ryan credit here. Okay, I'll give Ryan credit. So when we signed you last year, late in the year, he was like, I think he could end up being the Ben Powers replacement at left guard next year. And
I was like, this is a sign and stash.
This is a sign and stash. And so you called it. He called it. I'll give him the credit there.
Had you.
So what did you think when you got signed here last year?
My mind was like all over the place. That was my first time like getting cut or, you know, things like that. And so I was just like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And it kind of changed my perspective of the game a little bit. And instead of looking at it as a big picture, I kind of went like day by day. And I think that helped me out a whole lot because I was like very overwhelmed a lot. I was overwhelmed. I was, you know, like, if I mess up, then this is going to happen because it happened. And once I changed my mindset to just go, you know, day by day, it helped me out a whole lot. And, you know, not even day by day, but just play by play and, you know, just trying to get better each and every snap. and it definitely helped me out. And the guys like Ronnie, Tyler, Coach Joe D, like those guys, they took me in, and it was a work in progress when I got here, but it ended up working out.
Mm-hmm. I'm just curious. I mean, it was so odd to me looking back at your career why it ended the way it did with the Raiders. I mean, you were full-time. You started every single game in 2021.
Yeah.
You were the starter to begin last season.
Yeah.
Started the first 2 games, right?
Yeah.
So, like, what did they say to you at the time? It's just such an 4th round pick out of Clemson, like big time player. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't
like,
say all that. No.
I mean, like they invested in you. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it just seemed odd that they would have released you so soon. Is that kind of why you were like, "What the hell is happening?"
To a certain extent, but they brought in new coaches and they had a different plan. So
Gotcha.
they went their way, and it happened. Whatever happened there happened.
Yeah.
But I'm just happy to be here. I'm not gonna lie. This is a great organization, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how open you've been when you had your press conference a few weeks ago too about, you were lacking confidence at that point,
for sure,
and you don't hear players often talk so openly about that. You talk about going one day at a time, but even away from the football field, how did you handle that mentally? I
think. Like when I was in Vegas, I was far from my family. My wife is in med school in South Carolina, so she was never really up there with me, and so I was dealing with that when I was up there, and it wasn't easy. And now that I'm here, I'm closer to home. My mom, dad, family, they can come and visit me way more. My wife, she took a gap year for the baby, not a gap year, but a research year, and so I feel like I got support, and even when like things are at home or like, going the way they're going because I got a baby now. When I come here, it's like a family, and the guys, they help me out. They understand. They're super understanding. And, it's been great being here, honestly.
That's cool. So, you go through this process in very open competition during the off season.
Yep.
And, if initially it looked like you were in that spot, and then the Ravens drafted Saleh in the 6th round, and then it's kind of a competition. McCary's kind of in the mix, Cleveland maybe in the mix, and then it kind of becomes clear over the course of really the off-season practices in the summer that it's between you and Saleh, competing for that job. And I think initially, we kind of like, oh, okay, John Simpson, he's the veteran, he's done it before, like he's probably going to be the guy that gets that job. And then Saleh, at the start of camp, ends up getting the first team reps.
Yeah.
How did you handle that to like just kind of process that and know like, okay, he's getting the first shot at it here, but you've also done it. Like, how did you handle it at that time early on in training camp?
Yeah, I mean, it's going back to me saying how I handled it, like just day by day, play by play.
Yeah.
Not thinking too much about that, but just controlling what I can control. I couldn't control, that decision. Well, I guess I could have by my play, but in that moment, I realized like I can't control that. Like I got to control what I can control, and what I can control is just how I play and what I do when I'm out there, and trying to make it all work. Yeah, if that's the right word to say. But just taking it one snap at a time, and I feel like I said, that changed my whole perspective on a lot of things. So it helped.
How do you feel like your game has grown? And do you look, when you came here late last season and saw Ben Powers, who was a guy a 4th round pick, who hadn't, he hadn't really broken out in his career until his final year, and then he got paid, right?
He get paid.
Exactly. Like, do you kind of look at that and say, hey, yeah, that can be me, and how did you go about improving your game to get to that spot? You know what I mean?
I feel like Coach Joe D, he's helped me tremendously as far as like the player that I am and the player that I can be, because I know that I'm far from where I want to be. He takes it. We take it one day at a time. I'm gonna say that like a million times.
Hey, man, that's the mindset. That's the mindset.
So just one day at a time, man, and just trying to, like I said earlier, like execute to the best of my ability, and just go from there. Pretty much. So
it became pretty clear in training camp, like you were the guy. Like when I said that Saleh got the reps to start, then you went in and got your chance, and then you never gave it up. Like you just proved that you won that job with how you played. Was there a moment where Joe D or Harbaugh or somebody sat you down and said, you're the starting left guard? Yeah, it was kind of, it's funny. So after, I think it was like
I forgot what day it was of practice, but Coach Jody came to me after practice. It was just like, he was just walking by. He was like, "Hey, John, come here." I was like, "Yes, sir." He was like, "Yeah, if we play tomorrow, you're going to be the starter." I was like, "Okay." And that's just how it went. Like, it was no sit down. It was just like right after practice. I was like, "Yes, sir." Like, sounds good.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it went.
That was in the preseason, or that was the regular
during
season?
training camp.
During training camp, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
So you just call your wife when you get back in the locker room after that, or
I sent a text and I was like, "Yeah, babe, they said I'm a starting guard." And she was like, "Let's go." She was excited, super excited for me. So.
I mean, that has obviously that's a rewarding moment, but especially after what had gone on with the Raiders and being a starter there and then getting cut, like that had to be like, I'm back.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely helped me out a lot, helped with my confidence and things like that. So
I'm curious to get your take on some of the other linemen around you, and you talk about Pat, right? And he's such a unique guy because he can play every single position,
literally every position,
and also because he's like the sixth man, right? He's like in basketball, there's a lot of value in that, and I think we saw that on Sunday, right?
Yep.
Like, what is it about Pat, in your estimation, that makes him such a good offensive lineman?
He's a genius. Like he's like super technical. And he's like super smart, and those things together like creates a beast, and he is a beast. So
interesting. So like, what, like how does being a genius, like how do you see that on the football field from him, kind of?
Yeah, like he's like you said, he can play all 5 positions. So he's like playing next to a center. I'm playing next to 2 centers when I'm playing next to Pat, and it's the same for Ronnie. Ronnie's like he's super smart and super technical as well. Yeah, but we're talking about Pat, and he can see things kind of before it happens. It's kind of weird, but it works.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
that is interesting. Ryan brought up just how well you guys played in Sunday's game, and I know that you obviously this is your first year here in totality, but you saw the end of last season. Yeah, and I know that like. You probably got a taste at the end of the year, like how intense that rivalry was going to be against the Steelers. Against the Bengals.
Steelers too.
That one's big too. But
I was there for that game too.
Yeah. But like the Bengals right now, I think are they've climbed up the rivalry rankings. For the Ravens for sure. What did that win mean, like from a big picture standpoint for this team?
Yeah, I mean it's huge. It doesn't really, that win specifically doesn't really. Like, what's the word? It doesn't really show what we're capable of right now, I think, but it definitely it's a stepping stone. And us going out there and doing what we did, it showed like the world that what we're capable of, because the Bengals is such a good team, and we still got to go out there every weekend, every Saturday, or whenever we play, and put our best foot forward. So that's kind of what I learned from that game, is like we're capable of doing this, and we belong. So
is there real pride when the offense finishes the game on the field? Like, you guys are paving the way for Gus to get that first down at the end. Like,
power running, and I noticed where they ran left guard, didn't they? That's where Gus went,
right?
Right
over you. Like, that's got to feel good as an offensive line. Like, it's hard to stay on the field in that situation where everyone knows in the stadium knows that you're going to run the ball, you're trying to run out the clock, and to be able to do it and run downhill against a good defensive front. Like, how good does it feel to be able to accomplish that, and you being the guy that they ran right behind?
Yeah, I mean that's huge. Honestly, to me, it doesn't matter where we ran the ball. We got the first down at the end of the game, so that's all that really mattered. But it's like I said, man, it's a blessing. This whole thing is just great. Like, it's great. It's just. I don't know. I can't even come up with words.
You're just a man on cloud 9 right now. You
literally.
Got a baby. You just beat the Bengals. You got the starting job. You're on cloud 9. That's what it seems like. Yeah. Hey, last thing for me, just a tip: when you're changing the diapers, baby boy, you got to keep the cover on. Right? When you take that diaper off,
listen, it's already happened 3 times. It's already happened 3 times. I'm still trying to learn how to keep him covered up. So I'm learning.
It's tricky.
It's a work in progress for sure.
Hey, awesome. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Welcome back into the lounge. We're coming to you from the SeatGeek studio. Also, we want to give a shout out to our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook, which is an official sports betting partner of the Baltimore Ravens. So here's the deal. If you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use the promo code FLOCK, you can get a deposit bonus up to $1,000 only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Again, the promo code for that is Flock. All right, you got to be 21 or older and physically present in Maryland to play. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now, if you're watching this episode, you notice there's a set change.
Yes.
We have chips and dip everywhere. We're teaming up with our friends at Tostitos here for a chips and dip draft. Yeah. All right. We always love the drafts.
Wait. This is going to be great.
We did the soup draft last year. Yep. I crush you in every draft. We've done a million drafts. Today's the chips and dip draft.
This is really a football draft. I mean, like, if you're hosting a watch party,
yes,
what do you have at your watch party to watch the Ravens game?
And we got some good items here, so we're going to do that. But any final thought before we start diving into the important stuff here?
I mean, I'm looking at this stuff. I'm ready to dive in.
Okay, all right.
But I will say I thought this was kind of interesting about John, and part of the reason that I predicted that he was going to be the Ravens starter is because he just has always struck me as a Ravens type of offensive lineman.
I agree with that.
And I even go back to when he was in the draft, and we're putting together our 7-round Ravens mock drafts. I am always looking for that middle round offensive lineman that could fit the Ravens MO, right? Mm-hmm. And like big guy, the scouting report was he's big, 6'4", right? He's got strong hands, right? Just like kind of a mauler, just a really strong dude, right? And I was like, check. Yes, this is a Ravens mid-round offensive lineman. They didn't end up picking him, but that had always kind of stuck with me. Big school, Clemson, all that stuff. Turns out after our interview with John, he said that after the combine that year, he thought the Ravens were going to be the team. He told his family, he's like, the Ravens are going to be the team that picks me. Turns out they didn't, but come full circle, just pretty cool.
So just to try to get to the bottom of this, did you pick him in your mock? Like, you tell this whole long story.
I'd have to go back and check. I might have. I'm not sure.
This is like, sure. Are you trying to get like?
All right, what year was it?
You're trying to get the 5-year delayed credit. For what your mock draft
here. He came
here.
out in 2020.
2020.
All right. I'll look it up. Ravens 7-round mock draft.
Yeah. The answer is no. You did not.
I might have.
You did not. I know this is the classic. I give you a hard time about this every year when it comes to mock draft time.
I might have.
You're talking about whether you got all this interest in this guy. You do 20 different mock drafts. You say you like every single guy on the list.
Here we go. I got the list. All right, let's scroll down. I picked Robert Hunt in the 2nd round. Our guy Robert Hunt. I think we both took him, didn't we?
Did we both take him? I think we might have.
We did. I didn't take him.
You say all this stuff just to say, and then I didn't take him on.
But if I would have taken a 4th-round guy,
John would have been the guy. So he look. I congratulations to him and his family. Like, really happy for him. He's a likable guy.
Yep.
Smart player, and I admire his willingness to be kind of open about the tough road of getting released and losing confidence and coming here, new place, all this stuff. Your head's kind of swirling, and then he wins that starting job, and he's playing really well. And so I just think he deserves a ton of credit. I give the Ravens credit too. I think Joe D's a great O-line coach, and I think that he, as John mentioned, has really helped him kind of find his footing and play at a high level. So congrats to John. I enjoyed the conversation with him today.
Yeah, the O-line balled out on Sunday against the Bengals. How about my guy Sam Mustipher?
Look, I think Sam's been playing well too. Like in that game.
Sam Mustipher. I've had an eye on Sam Mustipher this whole trip.
Did you take him? Did you take him in your mock as well? Pull up that draft. All right, so let's get into the chips and dip draft here. Okay, our friends at Tostitos want to tell Ravens fans, break the huddle and start your hustle. It's time to get that bag. We're talking about a bag that will make or break your game day. It's time to swoop in and get your limited edition Ravens Tostitos game day bag. Beauty. Pair your favorite Tostitos chips and dip, and then it's wrapped in Ravens colors, and there's a local recipe on the back. These bags will not be free agents forever, so blitz that chip and dip aisle and bring home your favorite Tostitos team bag. This season, team up with Tostitos, the official chip and dip of the Baltimore Ravens. So these are the bags.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, right? When you're in the grocery store and you're going down and you see the Ravens logo on the bag, you're like,
that's
yes,
a get.
That's a get. I'm doing that for sure. All right, you ready? You got your board?
Yeah, so we have all these different items here. These are the items that are in the chip and dip draft.
Yep.
Okay. And we got to do rock, paper, scissors to decide who gets first pick.
I didn't plan this out. Hold on. All right, I got you. 1, 2.
Why you run 2, 3?
All right, fine. Rock, paper, scissors. All right, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Yes. 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 Oh, yes. All right,
First
here
pick.
we go. First pick. I'm taking the scoops. I'm taking the scoop chip because it all starts with the chip. You got to have the right chip. I'm taking the scoop chip. I win already. It's done. It's over. That's a wrap. All right.
I will say, I will acknowledge that there's a lot of pressure on the first pick.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You know, if you don't have the scoops chip,
You're done.
Do we both? Is it because there's 2 bags of chips here? There's 2 bags.
The other one's not on there. That's not an option.
Can I take the tea bag?
The scoops are the only Tostitos dip chip on the board. That's it.
Yeah. So I don't have a.
You're done.
I am in trouble, folks. But
All right,
that's right.
All right, what are you going with?
You know what?
Well, you got to tell the items that aren't on. We have 2 extra items.
Yeah, just real quick, we have Tostitos scoops, as you probably know. We have Lay's classic Doritos nacho, the Doritos nacho cheese chips, Cheetos, Tostitos mild salsa, Lay's French onion dip, Tostitos habanero, the hot salsa, salsa con queso, queso blanco, this creamy spinach dip, and then 2 items that aren't on there are buffalo chicken dip and guac.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are the items that are on the list here. All right. So I need a chip.
It's a wrap.
I need a well.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
You know what I'm going to go with?
Oh, you're done. You're frazzled.
I'm in trouble. I'm going to go with you got the chip, but you don't
If you
have.
don't take a chip, you're done. If you don't take a chip, you're done. I'll freeze you out.
You have the scoops, but I've got the Doritos. And the Doritos are a superior chip. It's just a great chip. You do have the classic.
Doritos are good.
They're great, but I can sub them in. Like now I can just.
No, you can't.
Oh, you can totally
You're
sub
gonna
those in.
dip Doritos in guac?
I might do that as we go out here over
You're
the
going
course.
to dip Doritos in guac.
I might do that. I might dip them in queso.
That's inhumane.
Keep on going. I got my.
You don't even have guac. Okay. But I'm taking buff chick.
Okay.
Buffalo chicken dip, the best dip. Oh, yes, you're done.
All right.
You're done.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm not even.
Oh, I love buff chick. And I know deep down in my heart, I know you're a huge buff chick guy.
Yeah, it's great.
You are frazzled right now.
It's great, but
you make a nice
queso.
buff chick. I'll give it to you. You do make some
queso
good buff chick.
is really the superior dip here.
No, it's not.
Superior dip.
Oh my God, I'm so curious. This is the biggest blowout in draft history. Folks.
I'm going the queso.
You're taking queso?
I'm taking
Guac.
the queso.
I'm taking the guac.
I'm going with the queso.
A blowout. This is a blowout already.
So I got the queso, and now I go with the salsa, the classic salsa. So I have. This mic just broken here. I've got the classic salsa, the Doritos chip, and the queso. Salsa, queso, and Doritos. Wow. That is a winning combo right there.
Okay.
That is a winning combo.
Okay. I'll take the salsa con queso. So you get the best of both worlds. You get the salsa and the queso. It's the best of both worlds.
It's not
like a 2-for-1 on yours. You spent 2 picks on my one.
No,
and I got him later than you.
No, that's. I mean, queso blanco, it's fine, but that's like the player.
Salsa con
That's like the
queso is
tweener.
great.
That's the tweener guy coming out in the draft. You don't know, is he an inside linebacker? Is he an outside linebacker? Is he a safety? Is he a corner?
I like hybrids. I play a versatile defense.
No,
here. Okay, hybrid. This is the way the NFL is going. It's also the way your NFL party is going. You need some versatility, some hybrids.
No, I got the classic.
I got God, would you straight out your mic?
So I've got the queso, and now
Mike's bailing on this draft. It wants to get as far away from you as possible.
So now I already got the classic salsa.
You're done.
And now I get hot salsa. Now if you want hot salsa, you want hot salsa? How do you have a draft? You're having a party. You don't even have chips and salsa. You don't have.
I'm taking I do have salsa. Salsa con queso. Did
No,
you don't in there.
You don't have
salsa.
It's not the same.
Salsa. Salsa.
It's the inferior of each. It's the inferior of each. I've got the superior item for each.
I'm taking the classic Lay's chip right now. Just the classic. I mean, if you're like, I want a chip, you're taking just the classic Lay's potato chip.
You're boring. You're Mr. Vanilla.
Oh,
you're Mr. Vanilla.
You have
the classic chip.
You don't have a classic chip. Like I have the dip chip, which was a runaway #1 overall pick, but you have to have another chip. I'm taking the classic Lay's.
But I'm winning that. Yeah, pick. You got the scoops. Scoops are great. But I've got the Doritos.
Dude, all right, make your next pick. And all right, we'll review at the end how you got skunked. Make your next pick, and you're reeling. You're gonna make another bad pick.
I'm feeling great with all of this, and this is gonna throw you off because it's a great combo. And this is the.
Oh, what's it gonna be?
I'm going with a French onion dip.
Oh my gosh!
And really,
oh my gosh!
The best part of the Lay's chip is to have the French onion dip. Like that's what makes it.
You know what? You actually are right about that. I was kind of hoping to sneak the French onion.
I know what you were thinking. You were like, he's not going to take it.
Pairing.
He's not going to take. He's not going to take it.
Here's the thing about the Lay's chip: you can just eat that plain. You don't need a dip for that chip. That's just a great chip just to eat by itself.
Sure, that it's fine, but it's a million times better with the French onion dip, which I can use for my Doritos as well if I want to just get crazy.
No,
I can get crazy.
No, you can't.
Sure, why not?
Because it's disgusting. Because you can't. If you try to do it, let me also say this. You are 100% a double dipper. 100% you're a double dipper. All right. So
it's my party, my rules.
Oh, wow. I knew it. And I've seen it happen. And B, if you ever dipped a Dorito in French onion dip, you get thrown out of the party. I mean, that's an automatic DQ. You're DQ'd.
It's
get out of the party.
Both great. I'm more creative. You're vanilla.
If you do that,
you're vanilla, and
right,
I understand.
Here's my last pick. Great pick for my last pick. Spinach dip. It's a little healthy. You feel good. All this other stuff, it's all great, right? But you get to the end of the party and you're like, oh man, I should not have eaten that much buff chick dip. I should not have eaten. I feel. But if you have a little spinach dip, you're like, you know what? I made some good, healthy decisions
you
today.
feel like you're eating healthy that day?
I feel good about myself. Spinach dip with the last pick is a great option. Plus, there's always those people at your party who are like, they don't have any. You didn't get the veggie tray, but at least, did you get the spinach dip? Yes, I did. All right, I'll stay.
With my last pick, I get Cheetos, which is an incredible.
Are you 5?
They're sitting here on the available at. I mean, they're sitting here with me on the last pick. I get my Cheetos. I'm going to have orange fingers now for the rest of the day. And Michelle, our boss, is going to kill us if I spill any Cheetos on the couch.
You hear the crunch on it? That's ASMR.
Hey, do you want any
ASMR for a chip and dip draft?
Do you want any French onion dip with that?
No, I'm good. It's a good plan.
No, I can see you. I mean, I know that you're looking at my French onion dip.
All right, let's review this because you got slaughtered in this draft. It's not even close. If anybody emails us at thelounge@ravens.nfl.net. If you vote for Garrett for winning this one,
then you're a smart man.
Then you are biased. All right, then you're biased because I smoked you this draft.
You
go ahead, review yours.
Yours seems great because look. If I had first pick, I would have taken.
Dude, I would have taken this guac.
I would have taken the scoops. I would have done that with first pick.
I literally got my top 3 picks. Tostitos, scoops, buff chick, guac. I got my top 3 picks.
I would have taken scoops first pick. I'm giving you that. But then I just pivoted and went nacho cheese or Doritos nacho chips, and then I got all these great dips.
That was a mistake. That was a mistake because I wouldn't have taken Doritos with my next pick. You should have taken one of the dips. But you were frazzled and you took a chip with the second overall pick after I had already taken one. My need for a chip was low at that point. You just totally misplayed the whole draft.
And I got Cheetos with my last pick, which is remarkable. All right, so I ended up with Doritos, Cheetos, French onion dip, classic salsa, hot salsa, and queso. This is domination.
All right. And I got Tostitos scoops, buffalo chicken dip, guacamole, salsa con queso, the Lay's classic chips, and spinach dip. Runaway.
So email us at thelounge@ravens.nfl.net. I might finish this bag.
Where's the salsa con queso? Where is that? Oh, that queso blanco?
That's mine. Get your paws off my queso blanco.
Where is it? We don't have it up here. Oh, what the heck?
So email us at thelounge@ravens.nfl.net. Let us know who you think won. I think it's all pretty clear. And big game coming up this weekend. It's hard to make the pivot from the chip draft to the game coming up on Sunday.
Well, so this is the point when I do the big.
Yes, this is. I'm teeing you up for it.
But I have a thought on this. I mean,
are you retiring it?
Cliff? No. Heck no. Cliff delivered it last week, and it was a big win over the Bengals.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we got to ride that again, right?
So Cliff
Cliff, we got to sub in Cliff.
Cliff, come on back.
We need to sub in Cliff for this until we lose, which isn't going to happen. 17-0.
Yeah.
So we got to keep it rolling.
All right, I'm down with that.
Cliff's got to deliver it. Thank you, Cliff, for stepping in, and thank you for this one again. Anyway, thank you for listening. As always, make sure you're subscribed. Leave us a rating and review if you don't mind. Tell me I won the chip draft if you're not blind. Or whatever, if you have taste buds, I should say. And make sure that you're also subscribed to the Ravens Press Pass feed. We'll be back with you next week after the big win.
So Sunday, I'm seeing a big win for the Ravens.